All right, so here we go on the next ones. I went ahead and worked 7, 8, 9, and 10 real quick, so I make it a little faster. This one wants to know what is the slope. So here's my D's, right? Those are my Y's, and here's my C's. If I subtract my C's, I get 0 on bottom. Anytime I have 0 on bottom, it's a vertical line, which means it's an undefined slope, so my answer is E. Number 8, remember it says parallel. Parallel means the same slope, so I'll use my trick from before. I'll take the number in front of x, which is 6, and change its sign and make it negative, and divide by whatever's in front of y, in this case 3. So I divide that out, I get negative 2, so my answer is G. Number 9, they want to know slope of AB. If I notice it's going down from left to right, so I know it has to be negative. So I can rule out C and D, and I can rule out E, because E would be if they want to know the length of AB. I don't want to know length, so I can mark it out. And so I know it's either A or B. I count down 1, 2, 3, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, till I get to B. Negative 3 over 6 reduces to negative 1/2, so my answer is B. Okay? All right. These magnets are pretty strong. Okay. Next one, number 10. I went ahead and done it. Now, the reason I'm trying to do this because I know 11 is going to be an interesting one to talk about. Here again, they give me points and they want to know slope. So all I have to do is negative 1 minus 8. Okay, negative 1 minus 8 is negative 9. And then 5 minus 2 is 3. Divide, I get negative 3. So my slope is negative 3f. Now, number 11, I went ahead and marked the figure, but 11 is a interesting character altogether. They tried to make this as convoluted and as confusing as possible. It took me a minute, and then I realized what they were doing. Okay, so they told me that A, B, and C were midpoints of each one of these sides, so I already marked that those are congruent. Now, that means this is congruent to this, not this to this, or this to this, or this to this. Does that make sense? So I don't know that any of these triangles are congruent to each other, okay, with the information I'm given. So I can rule out the congruent A and B, right? Now, when it talks about the product of the slopes of BC and OA, okay, BC and OA, those slopes are going to be undefined, right? So I can't multiply undefined. So it can't be that. BC and CU, in order for it to be negative 1, they'd have to be perpendicular to each other, which they are not, so it can't be D. It has to be E, and it says the slope of BC and OA, which is here, are both undefined. Those are vertical lines, so yes, they are undefined. I hope that made sense. That last one, number 11, was probably the hardest question thus far in this section. I hope this was helpful.